here. You hear me? Me say me no bang no water, come here. I the butterfly me take. You know what happen? Me come in by the butterfly. And me shut me eye them tight, tight, tight. Cause me don't want to see nothing, I me want to feel nothing. And when me land, me not even know me land. And me turn to the pilot and me say, pilot, thank you very much. The ride was really beautiful. You see that? Me say me no bang no water come here. And the butterfly me take.
All right. That is Sharmen Greenaway, author, and this is the Alliouagana Festival of the Word. I am Nerissa Golden, and I'm honored today to feature Ms. Greenaway in our local author segment. Sharmen, tell me about that piece and tell me about the project that it's from. What does that phrase mean, though? Me no bang no water come from here.
We no bang no water come here. So that is in keeping with the theme of the book. The Montserrat dialect, very unique to the Montserrat people and very important as part of its heritage and its culture. And the Montserrat dialect, for a little while, appeared to be going sort of distinct as a result of the volcanic eruptions and the migration of people out, and also people coming in. So what we've had over the last 23 to 25 years is a watering down process as a result of the subcultures. So not only the subcultures, but as a result of those people who left Montserrat from 1997 on. They went to the UK, they went to the US, and of course, the language is being watered down. So as part of a project, I decided to focus on the Montserrat dialect as a traveler's guide, so that people who are on Montserrat, people who intend to visit Montserrat, will have a sort of guide as to how Montserratians speak. They will understand the tone, they'll understand the linguistics, and they'll understand when we use certain phrases. Yes. So initially, I came up with an ebook, one right here, Traveler's Guide to Montserrat English and Montserrat Dialect. The book is phenomenal in that it is not only a guide for travelers or for visitors to the island or people who are coming in to live. It is also a keepsake for Montserratians and the children and grandchildren of Montserratians who would have left Montserrat. And the honest truth is, a number of Montserratian offsprings are unable to speak the Montserrat dialect in its naturalness. So they can speak a version of it, but not. Yes.
All right. So tell me how you found the content for the book in terms of, did you speak to older Montserratians? Are these from things that you remember growing up? In terms of how were you able to collect these phrases, and how do we know these are Montserratian phrases or derivative of some other combination of the rest of the Caribbean?
Right. So of course, I was born and bred in Montserrat, and I grew up speaking the Montserrat dialect, hearing my grandparents speak the Montserrat dialect, my parents, everyone around me. So of course, I know the Montserrat dialect. However, we were not writing it. So whilst in London, I spoke to a number of Montserratians from different areas or different regions of Montserrat. And I also found that the pronunciation, the way they said certain words were different. And as a result, during my research, I came up with a number of similarities and differences of the way Montserratians speak. Now, the other thing that drove me to actually write this book was the Jamaican dialect itself. Because whilst in London working in how as a nurse, I I've had cause to take care of Montserratians in the hospital, and doctors, nurses, they had difficulties understanding the Montserrat dialect, and sometimes
Interesting.
they actually likened it. They thought it was Jamaican, and I had to clarify that. Yes, you had to
Yes, I've
clarify.
heard
Look,
that
this is not
before that
Jamaican.
our
This,
I've
I'm
heard that
sorry.
before that we have similar I've heard before that we have similarities with the Jamaican dialect. Did you find that to be true when you were doing your research?
I had found that to be true before when I studied in Jamaica, because I did some studies in Jamaica at Mona, Papine, and I did find there were similarities. However, there's some really there's some differences that actually stick out. For example, the Jamaicans would say something like peg, so they will put an H at the beginning of a vowel, whereas the Montserratians would not do that. Okay, so that's one of
Hmm.
the biggest differences in literature. And some of the words they use is totally different. So it is true that there are
Okay.
similarities, but there are differences. And also, when you listen to the tone, the way they speak, you know automatically that this is not a Montserratian. This is a Jamaican speaking.
Okay. We were just having a discussion with the Arrow Lecture Series presentation, and one of the things that the presenters noticed was Arrow's old song about Montserrat English, that it was a call for Monstratians not to forget the language of their birth and what was organic to them, because one of the presenters said that often Monstratians they go abroad and they adapt the English accent or the American accent, whereas you will always be able to tell a Jamaican in a different country or an Antiguan. Why do you think that is, that
Yeah.
it's been so easy for us to surrender the dialect? Or I mean, I suppose it's a form of what's that word? Being a chameleon, being able to fit in. But why do you think we do that?
Because, okay, the difference between the Montserratians and the Jamaicans with the culture, the dialect, is that the Jamaicans have made their dialect into a language. Yes, they're very territorial about their dialect. And rather than speaking the Queen's English as we know it, they would actually speak their own Jamaican dialect. And that's because they're independent as well and they're a larger nation. Whereas we are affected by our position with the British, with Britain, because we are colonies still, and we are still doing everything British. So it means that we are also speaking the Queen's English for the most part. So in addition to us being chameleons and being able to adapt other languages easily, especially English, we are also under the British rule, and therefore we are still speaking the Queen's English, and we have not yet started to focus on the Montserrat dialect as a language. In fact, this is the first time that a book has been written in entirety about the Montserrat dialect, but it is a start, and we aim to continue.
Okay. Could you give us a couple examples of phrases that you think are in your book and that are very unique to Montserrat?
Yes. And because you mentioned Arrow, I'm just gonna, speak a few of the phrases that he has focused on. And for example, give me a little bit where you're yet day. And when you say that, you actually have to get the accent. So give me a little bit where you're yet day. Give me some of what you're eating, or give me a little of what you're eating. So you find stuff like that, words, phrases like that, they might have double meanings, which are similar. Yes? And
Okay.
then you have put them down, put it down.
Put it down.
So I said that more with an English accent, and you can tell that I was living in London. But if I
Hmm.
was living in Montserrat all the time without an accent, I would just say, put them down.
Put them
Yes?
down.
And I would say, take them up. Take them up.
Take them
You
up.
see? and that
Mhm.
means take it up. Very, very,
Mhm.
very, the language is so unique, and the spelling is the pronunciation is not necessarily the way it's spelled, so it's quite unique. The Montserrat language is fun. As you can see, when I came in, I was playing around with the language. It's fun. You can do so much with it. And I write poetry. I write stories, stuff like that around them. You sing songs with the Montserrat dialect. It is actually a language which deserves further research, and we need to develop it more.
Okay. Do you see
And
a
we also need
time
to
that
teach our
when
children.
we would be teaching the Montserrat dialect in school, just like we teach Spanish or French? Is that something you'd like to see?
I would love to see that, and which is why in the future, we need to actually develop a thesaurus, a dictionary of the Montserrat dialect, and then we can focus on that and take it further into academia so that it stands out, it sticks out, and we do not lose that because that is such an important part of our heritage. We cannot afford to lose it. And the thing about the Montserrat dialect, um, there are various schools of thought as to where the words came from and where the tones, came from. And it has been debated that some of the words are African, are from our African ancestry, and some of the words can be identified in various parts of Africa. And also some of the names that we've had in the past, such as my mother's name was Nanan. Some people, the lady in my village was called Na. And we know in Ghana, Nan, Nanan, Nana, those are names that have been used in Ghana. So we know that they are words that are African in origin for real. Now, the tone has been said to be similar to that of the um, Irish settlers that were here. And there are loads of debates going on and have been going on for ages. And of course, when you relate to people from Ireland and even Africa, you can pick up bits and pieces of variables that actually fit within the nature of the debate. But of course, it's all subjective at the moment. So we need to do more research, as I said.
Okay, Sharmen, at the start, you talked about the fact that a lot of the change has happened post volcano eruptions and the migration of our people. Whose responsibility is it going to be to carry this on, understanding that now the large majority of our population here come from other parts of the world, other parts of the Caribbean, and they are also now bringing their language and their tones to us. How do we continue this to preserve the Montserrat dialect?
Well, I think in the same way that when I was attending secondary school, we were allowed two languages in the lower forms, and then when you get to third form, you had a choice. I think that the Montserrat dialect should be introduced to the schools because you have Spanish people here, and you're teaching Spanish in school. You have Haitians here who speak French. They're teaching French in school. Therefore, these people should be given the opportunity to learn the Montserrat dialect as well.
Yeah.
There's no, I remember when I was growing up, um, my mother, so my dad was all right, granddad was all right, but my mother used to insist that you speak English, yes,
Yeah.
because they did not value the Montserrat dialect that much. I think the value is being placed on the Montserrat dialect now because we're losing it. As you know,
Right.
when resources become scarce, the price goes up. And now we have to focus on what we have. We can't afford to lose it. The population is small. The in migration or immigration process is all around us. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
And we will have that watering down process if we do not focus on holding on to what we have and teaching the people who come in to understand and speak our language.
Okay. So, Charmaine, tell us how we can get a copy of your book and where we'll be able to connect with you online.
So my book, so there are two books. This one that has the, this is the first version, and it has the Montserrat map on it. I have some personal copies, so you can contact me on Facebook, Sharmen Greenaway on Facebook. And people see me around as well. Everybody knows me. Also, you can buy this on Amazon. The second, the revised version, which is this one, with the travelers on, moving around. This one is in paperback. Okay, so the first one, ebook, this one is in paperback. And I do have some copies of this as well, which you can purchase from me. And you can also order this on Amazon. The other thing is, it might be difficult to get orders from Amazon here. So you can actually make your orders through me, and I'll collect a number of orders and then make an overall order. And when I get the order, final order, then I'll distribute it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sharmen, for being here at the Alliouagana Festival of the Word. Definitely check out her books. And there's much more to come at the festival, so stick with us.